During the third millennia, in a strange place known as the United States of America, a war was brewing. Brainwashed Marxist idiots in colleges across the nation clashed with equally brainwashed, anime-obsessed neo-Nazis. Starbucks windows were shattered, Dodge Challengers were totaled, and Muslims realized that rental vans were cheaper than plane tickets. Skinny, anemic millennials from coast to coast were hospitalized with life-changing injuries such as sprains and first-degree burns. And the heroic knights of 4chan rose up to defeat Shia LaBeouf and drive the evil villain into a descent towards a madness the likes from which he would never recover. As the enemies of freedom destroy the cities that raised them, as America begins to resemble an Iron Maiden album come to life, two heroes have risen up to fight against a culture of utter madness and restore sanity the only way they know how, by refusing to take any of it seriously. Mersh.
And I said, hey, oi, let's chop your penis off. Oi, can I have me penis back? Why do you have dreadlocks, you white oppressor?
Royce Lopez.
Always be aborting. A-always B-B aborting. Always be aborting.
Breaking news.
Breaking news,
You're
guys.
hearing it only on our show first. Apparently Donald Trump has worked out a deal. He will get the wall. Unfortunately, it's going to be a rock climbing wall.
Oh, no! The other side's going to be a slide. You climb the wall up and you just
Lands into a nice, clean, chlorinated pool. And then you immediately get a welfare check. Fucking A.
Oh, shit. He was a boy, he went to girl, now he wants to be a boy again.
Oh, God, just stay a girl if you're going to be this indecisive.
I think Caitlyn Jenner's a handsome woman with a great penis. Look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with trannies. I just don't want to put that one's cock in my mouth.
Bound forever by their mutual love of smoking marijuana, Simpsons references and affection towards Alex Jones, these two men have joined forces to bring you uncut news and opinions directly from the belly of the beast. Saving Western civilization one childish dick joke at a time, here they are, your new heroes of the Imperium, Mersh and Royce Lopez.
Oh, snap, folks. Coming to you live from either the greatest or the worst timeline ever. It's the fastest growing right-wing comedy show on the interwebs, Revenge of the Cis, the show that is like InfoWars on drugs.
So regular old InfoWars?
Yeah, I guess basically. Yeah, basically. We're basically like InfoWars, except, we tell the truth.
The only real drugs that Alex Jones has are the ones he takes, not the ones he sells.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not super male vitality.
Unless that's what you call cocaine.
Yeah,
allegedly.
Yeah.
We don't know.
All I'm saying is, super male vitality is not the only thing that's easy to find in Austin, Texas.
Mm-hmm. Also, the files. Those are really easy to find.
Yeah, apparently all the files are in Austin, Texas.
You know why I like Alex Jones? I mean, there's a lot of reasons Alex Jones.
Bad shit.
Well, that's one. Also, he is single-handedly keeping paper companies in business because he's the only guy who still has papers that he reads from in his hands.
Yeah. No. He doesn't read from them. Yeah. He has them clenched in his fist
shake.
angrily.
Right. You're right. Good point.
As he rebukes the globalists.
I guess you're right. They're more like props.
They really are.
They're fucking
So anyway, here you are, folks.
We had a great weekend. So we're all energized and stuff. We actually got to chill for a little bit. A little tiny bit. And then right before we went to bed last night, before I went to bed, I go, hey, and then I didn't go to bed. I go, hey, Mike, did you see this? Apparently, Frank Underwood himself,
our boy, one of my favorite actors of all time,
Kevin Spacey. Well,
oh boy.
Why don't we just play the story? How about that?
After releasing an apology to Star Trek and Rent actor Anthony Rapp, who accused Spacey of making sexual advances toward him when he was just 14 years old. Spacey has found himself the target of negative reactions on Twitter because of his decision to combine that apology with a coming out statement. In an interview with BuzzFeed published on Sunday, Rapp alleged that a then 26-year-old Spacey invited him to his Manhattan apartment for a party in 1986. They were both starring in hit Broadway plays at the time. Rapp says he was the only teen at the party and spent most of the evening in a bedroom watching TV. He claims he was unaware the party had ended, and he was alone in the apartment with Spacey until the older actor appeared in the bedroom doorway. Rapp, who is openly gay, told BuzzFeed, quote,
Whoa, get right out of town.
You don't
A
say.
Broadway store?
I don't. You know
Come
what?
on.
I think the jury is still out on that one.
Please, how dare you?
I thought, oh, everybody's gone, I should probably go home, but Spacey stood in the doorway, kind of swaying. My impression when he came in the room was that he was drunk. He picked me up like a groom picks up a bride over the threshold, but I don't squirm away initially because I'm like, what's going on? Rapp went on to say, quote, then he lays down on top of me. I was aware that he was trying to get with me sexually. Late Sunday night, Spacey posted this statement on Twitter, saying in part, quote, I am beyond...
I have a lot. I'm going to read the whole thing because they don't read the whole thing. I have a lot of respect and admiration for Anthony Rapp as an actor. I'm beyond horrified to hear his story. I honestly do not remember the encounter. It would have been over 30 years ago. But if I did behave then, as he describes, I owe him the sincerest apology for what would have been deeply inappropriate drunken behavior, and I'm so sorry for the feelings he described having carried with him all these years. The story has encouraged me to address other things about my life. I know that there are stories out there about me, and that some have been fueled by the fact that I have been so protective of my privacy. As these closest to me know in my life, I have had relationships with both men and women. I have loved and had romantic encounters with men throughout my life, and I choose now to live as a gay man. I want to deal with this honestly and openly, and it starts with examining my own behavior. Kevin Spacey.
Ladies and gentlemen, the master Kaiser Soze himself, Frank Underwood, with the greatest sleight of hand of all time. But before we get more into this, I want to make a prediction right now, Royce.
Sure.
Because let's just say for the sake of the show that I just haven't stayed updated on this. I'm going to assume right now, being the decent human being that I am, that the media is going to see right through this tactic, and they're going to work to expose Kevin Spacey. Am I right? Mm-hmm. Is that what happens?
Yeah. ABC News headline, I choose to now live my life as a gay man. Kevin Spacey comes out an emotional tweet.
What? Oh, come on! I mean, let's for the sake of the bit. Fine, I knew they were already doing this last night, but that was our reaction last night. Was no, I'm sure they're gonna see right through. Oh, come on!
This is what happened. I had gone to bed already, right? And I went up to bed and I went to go. I had to go use the bathroom before I went to go take a shit before I went to bed. So I sat on the toilet and I'm scrolling through my phone, and I see this ABC News article pop up, and I go, "What? And I fucking screenshot and I sent it to Mike. I go, can you fucking believe this horseshit?
I stayed up late as I'm wont to do. Royce was like, yeah, I'm done, man, whatever. We already knew about this story or whatever, but Royce went off upstairs. And I specifically heard last night as I was working on other things on the YouTube channel and stuff, some of the loudest stomping upstairs I've ever heard. And it was like... And I was getting messages from Royce upstairs, like, can you believe this shit? Like, I could hear the stomps in line with the messages I was
really
getting.
angry.
He was so mad. And I was mad too. But I think it was just more, I just wasn't surprised. I knew what he was doing, and I knew they were going to go along with it because he's Kevin fucking Spacey.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he was just a gay guy. I made that this morning.
That's you?
I made it this morning. Yeah. I swear to God.
That is amazing.
I really love Kevin Spacey. I'm a big, like, acting-wise, I'm a big fan of Kevin Spacey. Me and Mike both are like Usual Fucking Suspects,
Massive
American Beauty,
Kevin Spacey
fucking
fans.
House of Cards. Like,
this is like finding out that Macho Man Randy Savage tried to fuck a 14-year-old boy.
or a 15-year-old Stephanie McMahon,
Well,
allegedly.
you know.
But no, and like so this really really hurt. This really hurt finding this out. I mean, but it has to come out, right? Like, dude, you can't fucking. And by the way,
And
there's
let me
other
clarify,
stories.
because I'm going to clear the name of my boy Macho Man right now, even though Royce was just kidding.
I
I
said
just
allegedly.
want to point out the difference is Stephanie McMahon has never come out and said Macho Man took advantage of me when I was 15 years old, because then he'd be ruined for us. You know, it's like the story's kind of out there, but this is Anthony Rapp saying, dude tried to rape me at 14, and Spacey saying, yeah, probably maybe kind of happened. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm gay. Let's talk about that.
It's
Gay guy. Fabulous in L.A.
Well, okay, so there's something else that I want to bring up. This is before this Kevin Spacey story came out. On March 2nd, 2017, I believe this was on 4chan, either in Poll or TV, but it was definitely 4chan. Somebody wrote this. Hi, I work on speaking of Kevin Spacey. Hi, I worked on a production he was in, shipping news in the rural town of Trinity in Newfoundland, which is all true. That all coincides. The town has a population of maybe 1,200. He had a production put in a ping pong table in his suite and help him organize tournaments with local preteen and teen boys. I'm not even making this up. Everyone was really grossed out about it. All the local families thought he was just so wonderfully generous with his time, being a big movie star and all. But I think he's a predator. The ping pong was one thing, but then he went through a pile of male assistants that were flown up from L.A. 1 week. And at the end of the shoot, we crew cast were having a piss up in the local Rockies, which is for Newfoundland for drinking. He invites the third assistant director out to his Range Rover for a toke. I know this because I was banging the third assistant director. So they're sitting in the truck, and suddenly Spacey goes out for my friend Zipper and expresses an urgent desire to fillet him. The AD has now the awkwardest situation on his hands. With 2 weeks of shooting left, he has to A, politely decline Mr. Spacey's offer, or B, keep his job. He manages to get out of the truck unmolested, and then Spacey takes off in the truck. He's fucking loaded. Usually his handlers would prevent the sort of thing, but they didn't. They didn't think he would be going anywhere. They just thought he was having a toke and a blowjob. So he tears off in his Range Rover and then misses a very sharp turn on the way out of the Villages. Goes through a fence, down the hill into some guy's yard.
Fucking Billy Joel's it in the middle of Newfoundland, allegedly.
And lands in the top of a guy's well. The truck is all fucked up. There's damage to the well, etc. Production paid the property owner $10,000 not to say anything.
So the guy, he crashed into my well, And, I'm going to need some money for it.
So I called it in.
So I was like, what the frig? You're breaking my wells out here, and I'm just trying to make my living.
There's some local joke about how you get to Hollywood movie star out of your well, but I forgot how it goes. Then in the same thread, someone says, plus all these stories about Spacey. And I've read these rumors before, actually before this happened, but you never know. But some of these are the blind items that we were talking about with Dan Schneider, and a lot of these, the same dude that writes that wrote a lot of these Kevin Spacey things. And here's another one. Plus all these stories about Spacey taking young, not established males actors out to dinner at an expensive restaurant, ordering extravagant meals and wine.
I've heard this story before. This is a known story.
Yeah. And then telling the young man, I'm going to fuck your twink mouth. And if the young man declined Kevin, he would walk out of the restaurant, leaving the kid to foot the bill.
Dude, I've never even done it. I've done some dastardly shit to some people who deserved it. I've never even done that. I've walked out on dates before and still paid for them. But I just never, oh man, that's brutal. Broke ass kids.
Mitch says in the chat, it's a good thing there's a surplus of famous kid touchers in Hollywood.
Yeah, apparently there is.
It's really fucking ridiculous.
Come on, man. This is like, Alex Jones was right. What is happening? What timeline are we living in?
I'm telling you right now, I was saying that to Mike. I'm like, imagine if Alex Jones is 100% fucking right about this shit.
When has he ever been wrong? He was right about the gay frogs.
Okay, I mean, to be fair,
he was right about the gay frogs.
He was.
So now we're trying to get this guy's Land Rover, out of my well. So this guy, he's got to offer me a lot of money, I told him to frig off my property, So I'm drinking here, having a Molson's. We're watching the hockey game, and this guy, he starts going for my cock. And I said, hey, get off my cock. I tried to tell him, I'm not one of them, faggy boys,
By the way, for anybody that, because there's some listeners that don't live in the U.S. that are trying to call in. If you want to add us, I just put the Skype name in the chat. Add us in Skype, and you get to call in that way. That way, you don't have to worry about calling the phone number and getting charged.
That's fine, but no Australians, please.
No, this guy's from the UK.
Okay, good, because we've had it with.
I love the UK. There's a lot of red-pilled UK people now. And the more immigrants move in there, the more red-pilled people start showing up.
Australians are still protected, so they're still liberal out there. They're like, oh yeah, everything's gonna work out, We don't need any guns out here.
Now, moving into...
okay, before we move on, though, who's going to fix my well, eh? Because you told me you were going to fix my well.
$10,000.
Okay, but I wanted the $10,000, and I also wanted you to fix my well, eh?
Look, here's what I'm going to do.
I'm going to tell everybody about this Kevin Spacey queer. He's trying to
How
blow
about
all
this?
our neighborhood children,
I'll give you another $10,000 and a signed Blu-ray thing of House of Cards.
Look, we haven't had a more prolific child molester out here since Stu Hart, eh? Allegedly.
Or that time iCarly filmed up here that episode.
Allegedly.
We don't know. We don't know.
All I'm saying is when you're asking my kids to draw faces on their toes, that's not appropriate behavior for a 9-year-old. So I said frig off.
By the way, I will say, this is why I love, there's a lot of people I do radio with, but Mike is my favorite person, and here's why. The reason this fucking this fucking impression is working so well is because Maria and I have been watching on Netflix, and Canada's Worst Handyman, right? And they're up in Newfoundland, this area, right? Really up Ontario, really fucking up there. And he's half paying attention, but the same voices are in the background. So it's like that weird, subliminal thing starts setting in.
I'm a fucking I'm autistic.
Yeah,
I'm
on the
convinced
spectrum,
I'm definitely on the spectrum.
You're on the spectrum.
Dude, if I look back, I look back at pictures of myself from when I was younger and all the phases I went through and how horrible I always look and how nuts I am. I think I just have Asperger's.
Mm-hmm. But, which goes well with my anxiety disorder and depression. We make a great team. Patreon.com says we're not sorry. Pew pew. Which let's go into the same realm of Hollywood pedophilia. Corey Feldman.
What? Wait a minute. Before you move on, there's more Hollywood pedophilia? Get right out of town.
No, seriously, leave.
No, seriously, Hollywood, get out of our country.
Leave. You disgusting
fucking degenerates.
Animals.
Yeah, you're degenerates.
Oh, you gross. Anyway, Corey Feldman is doing what we're doing, Mike. He's trying to bring down these pedophiles.
Oh, cool. Well, we should work with them. That's great.
Our budget,
let's expose these guys.
Our budget on our Patreon right now is $48.
$48 a day?
A month.
Oh, a month. Okay.
Patreon.com/we're not sorry. Do you want to know? And we're any information we get, we are letting it out immediately, giving it to people. The story's getting spiked at people, but that's something else.
Well, I bet that Corey, though, is investing a lot of money and time into his, because he's got more money.
He has a lot of names. He says he has 6 names, and one of them is still working and very prolific.
But he won't. But what about but he could just say
he wants $10 million.
For the name?
For the names.
But that's extortion.
He needs protection.
He
needs to hire a lawyer.
But that's not, he should just say the name. He knows that I just want to.
Okay.
I got to reset sometimes. So Corey Feldman.
Yes.
Knows the name of
names
of active, still working,
correct,
prolific child predators in Hollywood.
And one, he said, is very high profile.
So you're talking people who could literally, as we speak right now,
be hurting children,
be raping a child on the set of a something somewhere.
Yes, that is
He
correct.
knows who that guy is, and they could scoop him up right now.
Right now.
And he wants $10 million.
He wants $10 million.
So he's now an accomplice. He's protecting a pedophile to get money. He's doing the opposite of what we're doing.
Right. He's doing what Ashley Judd did with Weinstein, but instead of an Oscar, it's $10 million.
I love the childish made up amount too.
Yeah.
I guess give me like $10 million.
It really is like a Dr. Evil amount, isn't it? $10 million.
Like he
What
said,
are you doing,
$10 million
asshole?
is an amount of money that Corey Feldman took about 4 minutes to come up with.
Yeah.
He sat somewhere and went, 50 is not going to happen. 20,
10.
10 million I could probably do. Because people really don't like pedophiles. Corey Feldman is a scumbag. Corey Feldman wants your money. No. I'm sorry. Corey Feldman needs your money. But we need it more. So patreon.com/we're not sorry. What a piece of shit.
How much does he have right now?
We're actively trying to expose people. And I get it. We're a new show. We're very happy that we're growing quickly. But I mean, for fuck's sake, man, you know somebody and you won't name a name. Do you understand that if I directly knew something about anybody, I'm looking, you know who I'm talking to out there at Nick. But
Dan Schneider.
Yeah. But even if it wasn't Dan Schneider, it could be any human being. If I witnessed Royce rape multiple children over time. Fuck lawyers, fuck money, fuck him coming after me. If I knew Royce was out just banging kids like it was going out of style, despite our friendship, there would be no money. I would go, look, man, you gotta go arrest this guy. He's actively fucking children. Like, dude, what a fucking piece of shit.
He has raised, so far, out of the $10 million, $162,963. I know. It's okay. But don't break our headphones because we don't make enough in our Patreon for me to be able to fix it. Okay?
That is fair. Oh, man.
By the way,
I'm fine.
it's not like I get it. I understand that everyone wants to make a buck. Look, we want to make money, right? But the moment we got names, there was never a moment when Mike and I said, man, we're going to take down this pedophile, make so much money. We never said that. We never thought it. It was never something. All we were was like, what the fuck is happening? And why is no one covering this?
And then we got kind of obsessed with it
Yeah.
because it is a real issue. And we're gonna keep doing it. But, like, how do we... All right.
Okay.
I'm living here at Royce's right now. I am probably the most annoying human being to have around. So it's wearing on them. Still waiting on this move for this job. There's a lot going on. I have probably $16 to my name currently. Corey Feldman. And it's flexible funding. I looked it up. It's flexible funding, which means if he doesn't hit his goal,
He
keeps
gets
the
it
money.
anyway. Well, minus 10%.
We call that the old Jim Norton. Anyway, what happened?
No, it's okay.
Jim Norton couldn't even pull in Corey Feldman bucks. That's kind of sad. But anyway, old Corey just bilked a whole bunch of people who want to do the right thing out of $160K. And it makes me angry, dude. Like, I get he's a celebrity and all that, but this isn't a situation where let's put it this way. Let's flip the timeline around. Let's say Corey Feldman came out and said, here's the names of the pedophiles. Ba, 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 and ba, ba, ba. And then
Mark Levin?
right? But let me tell you something about these guys over at Sickelodian and
Yes, he's saying it now.
and all these other places down there, MSLSD.
Yes.
These guys are a bunch of wackadoos. No. But if Corey came out and went bing, bong, bing, listed them, and then went and just fucking went into hiding, I wouldn't care if Corey Feldman right now was raising $90 million through social media. If he came out and did it and then was like, hey, please help a brother out. I just did you guys a fucking solid here. I would be clapping for the motherfucker. But you are holding the names hostage so you can make some money.
This just in, Dan Schneider says that he might have done thing with people's feet, but it's because now he's a gay guy. Is that cool? Hey, Mike, don't hit the screen. I know you're looking at him. You know what? Let's play some video so you can breathe, okay? This is going to help you calm down. Yeah, I bet. Okay.
Heels of the Harvey Weinstein sex scandal, Corey Feldman is on a mission, as he describes it, to clean up Hollywood. And it's taking on new meaning given those new allegations against Kevin Spacey that we talked about a little earlier. Feldman, a former child star, is trying to raise $10 million to fund a documentary that he says will expose a ring of pedophiles.
Just
in the movie
expose
industry.
them!
We'll talk.
Just fucking name the names, you scumbag. You know who's doing it. It's not like, look, I understand if Corey Feldman needed $10 million to dig into it more or investigate, man. But you have the fucking names. You just go. This should be illegal.
Hey, Mike, can you hand me that card? Thank you. Mike was molested, and he would never just go, hey, man, expose the pedophile. I mean, I will, but I need you to buy me a 20-pack of Busch Light first.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Dude, fucking Corey Feldman has had more GoFundMes than I have. And he was...
That's funny.
He was... Yeah, that's right. But at least I'm poor and I wasn't in the Lost Boys.
Yeah,
go fuck yourself.
And
Stand
you
by
weren't
me.
holding pedophiles' names over people's heads.
That's, dude, I'm sorry, but is that not in itself extortion or
It's
some sort of
fucking
crime?
gross. It's fucking gross.
If anybody knows a fucking lawyer that could call us and educate us on this, but I want to know if this is this not in itself aiding and abetting? And if you believe somebody to be victimizing children and committing heinous sex crimes, and you're covering up those names to raise $10 million, is that not a crime? That sounds like the plot to a fucking Bond movie or something. I've got the names of all the child predators in Hollywood, but I won't release them until you give me $10 million.
Two questions.
What?
Can I watch this movie? And who will be playing Bond?
Can we do Idris Elba?
I would, by the way,
We'll do Idris Elba.
I would like an Idris Elba Bond. I
I'm
know I'm, the
pro
minority.
Idris Elba.
I know there's a lot of people like, don't make a black. I don't care. He's a really good actor.
Yeah, it would have been different if they were like, yeah, we're going to make Russell Brand the next James Bond. I would have been like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? You know what I mean? Oh, I've got to watch that shoots a laser, you know? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm going to get out of here now. You fucking stupid Russell Brand. That would ruin the goddamn show for me. Oh, look, he's got sharks with lasers on him trying to kill me. That fucking, but Idris Elba is one of the smoothest. Do you realize they slipped Idris Elba into Asgard and he seemed like he belonged there? Relax, okay? Let him play Bond. There's black people in England. Get over yourselves. Oh,
All right, want to play a little bit more here of the Matt Lauer?
we got so ADD today.
Yeah. Okay.
Talk to him exclusively in a moment, but first his latest effort to tell his story.
We have the ability to let our voices be heard and break the dam of silence.
Corey Feldman once again
fake
opening
crying.
up about the dark side of the spotlight. In a new YouTube video, the former
Where
child
he's
star
high as a
vowing to
kite.
expose a ring of Hollywood
Allegedly.
pedophiles who he claims abused thousands of children.
I can name 6 names.
I want to punch that fucking hat off of his head.
I want to fucking blow that hat off of his head with a shotgun for holding 6 pedophile names.
No, I
over our head.
understand, but the hat, I mean, I know that's not the worst thing about it, but it's got to be top 3.
That hat is the second worst thing
Yeah,
about
dude,
Corey Feldman.
It has, okay, for those that are listening to a podcast, it's a regular hat, has like a rose engram on it, and then it has like spikes, like
studs.
studs.
Like Andrew
yeah,
Dice Clay studs.
Andrew Dice Clay, but on his hat, like on the brim of it.
Okay, listen, Corey Feldman. Here's the 3 worst things about you as a human being. Ready? Number 1, you're holding 6 pedophile names over America's head and allowing children to potentially get abused further, thereby being an accomplice to child rape so you can make $10 million. Number 2, as Royce pointed out, that hat is terrible. Stupid spikes. You look like an asshole. Number 3, National Lampoon's Last Resort. And that's all I'm going to say.
And by the way, 2 and 3, we debated it off air.
That hat is worse than National Lampoon's Worst Resort.
All right, fine.
That hat is more tragic than the bombing of the USS Cole.
That hat is more tragic than what happened to Randy Quaid.
Seriously. I'd rather 10 Benghazis happen again than anybody ever wear that hat.
Oh, fuck.
One of them who's still very powerful today.
See?
Feldman posting the video.
Why are you giving us the names? Why do you always need money, Corey? Please?
It's probably the drug problem.
They're launching an online
I'll tell you
campaign.
what, guys. If you donate to my PayPal, if I raise enough money, I'll tell you who diddled me. I'll name names.
Spoiler alert, you're not going to know the person.
People.
Sorry, people.
Corey's got 6 names. I think I have 3. The point is...
Fucking Christ. Mike's asshole as a kid had a number thing like a deli counter.
Like that scene in Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
One guy's nodding out on the couch. Somebody's stealing his number. Oh, fuck. We're going to have to make photocopies of these victim
We're
cards.
going to need a lot of them.
God damn you, Hollywood.
You know what I'm thinking? Officially branded Revenge of the Sis victim cards.
You know, Hollywood and the
Stocking stuffers.
Yeah, Hollywood and the media does a lot of damage to this country. Just saying.
That's the Jews thing he does with his head.
When you say it, though.
What?
When you say it, though,
Okay.
it negates the...
I got it. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting about the Jews anymore.
I feel like...
Look, sorry, we're silly. We have been fucking.
We're really tired.
We've been just so investigating child pornography.
You know how
and
tiring
fucking
this is?
abuse isn't fun.
It's, dude, it really is, dude. Roy, like, it's the sleep patterns are all fucked up. It's just like I'm chain smoking. I'm losing my mind. Chasing pedos and Nickelodeon. They're messing with our kids.
Red Pill Michael McDonald is back.
These goddamn Jews. Oh my God. They control the banks too. You can't get alone without enriching a Jew.
Y'all are pedos over there.
Aimed at raising $10 million to fund his plan to reveal what he calls the truth.
As long as the truth is another stupid song he does with those fucking bimbos.
I propose to do this
Stupid
by
girls.
making a film that'll be the most...
And I promise this time I'm not going to spend it on a bunch of prostitutes so they can pretend to play instruments on the Today Show.
I mean,
this time I mean business.
This time I'm still going to spend it on prostitutes, but they're not playing instruments.
I mean, I am going to buy a new gold foil hoodie to replace my old gold foil hoodie. But then after that, it's all going to be pedo stuff. Promise.
I'm going to have to replace the fucking ball bearings in my cap. But then...
Oh, we're going to need craft services, and I'm going to have a lot of meetings with executives to get the movie made. So we've got to expense that out of the deal, too. Fuck you, Corey.
Also,
fuck you.
Also cocaine.
Allegedly.
Well, I mean, okay.
At least weed.
No, for sure weed. He was arrested for it.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck you, sue me.
and true depiction of child abuse ever portrayed by telling my own story in a very real way.
We're fighters for truth.
They used the Frog Brother clip. I mean, that's something from Stand By Me, or even the Burbs, you know? They use this.
Justice and the American
This
way.
was a movie about teenage vampires.
No, this is the Lost Boys.
Oh, my God. Fuck you, Corey.
A 1980s teenage heartthrob, Feldman became...
Was he, though?
No, he was more like the guy who hung out with a 1980s teenage heartthrob.
There you go. The guy in the passenger seat of the IROC-Z.
Yeah.
best known for his roles in movies like The Goonies, The Lost Boys,
To be
and
fair,
Stand
though,
By Me.
he wasn't a heartthrob, but he was the one everybody everybody thought was going to be the biggest actor of our
Yes,
time.
that I will agree.
When he was a kid, they were like, if he can maintain this, he's going to be the biggest one. And then he started making, License to Drive 4, the driving. And they just started doing all these DVD movies to support Haim's fucking pill habit.
License to Drive 5, Kick Some Asphalt.
It was like the Fast and Furious series, except terrible.
So like the Fast and Furious series.
The poor man's Fast and Furious.
So like the first two Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
The ones with Tyrese.
How did he become an actor?
Anyone with Tyrese.
Sorry, let's focus on Corey. I don't want to get ADD. Let's focus on Corey Feldman.
Be on TV. Sure, we'll be heroes.
Oh, there we go.
But along with the fame, Feldman says he learned firsthand about Hollywood's big secret, a secret he tried to reveal
It's a terrible secret.
without
terrible
naming
picture,
names.
too.
I can tell you that the number one problem in Hollywood was
Fucking Corey
and
was
it
looking like Mickey Rourke in
is
that
and
last
always
picture.
will be pedophilia.
And they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business.
And children aren't supposed to handle that sort of
So I got a question for old Core. What if the guys who are the pedos offer you 15 mil?
And
Do you
also,
walk?
how many terrible hairstyles does this guy go through?
Oh my God, I know. He's like the Highlander, except he's like Mega Man, except he takes on, instead of people's powers, he just takes on the hairstyles of all the people who molested him.
He's more like Highlander 2, unwatchable.
I know, I've been through it, but that's all over now.
Feldman has long claimed as young actors he and
Wait a
fellow
minute. Corey Feldman and Corey Haim were friends? I didn't know that. Is that like a pop culture?
Don't be an
trivia
asshole.
thing?
child star Corey Haim were molested by older men in the entertainment industry. Allegations he also wrote about in his 2000.
Look what the name of his book is and try not to be mad. Look at the screen and look at the name of his book. It's choreography. No, we do not make. Listen, if you guys want to see Mike throw his headphones, you really got to give it patreon.com/we're not sorry, because they're not going to last this week. And this week is just the beginning of how bad this week's going to be.
Do we have any Vox videos today?
No. You're good. Although I did find out off air that Carlos Maza guy is fucking Cuban, and it made me so mad.
Not as mad as his family.
Yeah.
2013 memoir, Choreography.
I've been living in fear and been living with this my entire life.
But this morning, Feldman's latest proclamation drawing criticism.
I need
from
$10
Haim's
million, please. And then I'll stick up for the children. Please, anybody.
Somebody please think of the children for $10 million.
You think Corey Feldman's a Roger character?
No, he's not gay. Nah, he's not. I mean, I would,
but he doesn't Roger do some straight people too?
I guess he does. You're right. Fair enough.
I've got everybody hooked on this thing. They're gonna give me 10 mil, and then I don't even have any real names. I'm just gonna make them up.
Oh fuck!
Hang on, they're coming. I don't know what's happening. Seriously, dummy up. They're coming over. Matt, I don't know. I need $10 million. It's a genius plan, Corey. I never said you were the.
NBC.
People said you were the ugly Corey. Nobody ever said you were the stupid Corey.
He's also the stupid Corey.
And the less talented Corey.
Even nah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Haim's-
You're right.
No, Haim sucked. Feldman. Haim had no comedic chops.
Yeah, you're right.
Feldman was better.
NBC News, she wants her son's name left out of it, saying, quote, if he finally decides to release names and tell the world who they are, for the sake of more victims, I'll be 100% behind him. But if he's waiting to release the names in the movie, I don't support that. He doesn't need $10 million to do it.
That's Corey Haim's mother, Judy.
Get him,
Haim.
Mama Haim. She's right. She's absolutely 100% right. Because it's also her son's fucking history, his abuse that Corey is fucking
Covering up.
Well, not only covering up, but using now.
Yes.
You think
to
he's
make
gonna,
$10 million? Who needs $10 million to stop a pedophile who just, he admitted again, with his own words, is still active? You're a piece of shit, dude.
You're actually.
You may be worse.
You might be worse. You might be worse because, I mean, honestly, pedophiles say what they are. I mean, they're fucking animals and they should all be set on fire, but they have a pathology to them. They have this thing that they do, and it's horrible.
I mean,
You're
call it a disease.
Yeah, but you are somebody who doesn't suffer from that pathology. You understand how many children are being victimized, and you won't out anybody till you get $10 million. Corey Feldman is is human garbage.
A little bit more.
Corey Feldman joins us now live. Corey, good morning. Good to see
fucking
you.
outfits.
You reacted to that comment sitting here. I'll get to that in a second. This is very personal for you.
Yes,
it's
it
very
is.
emotional. It's something you've talked about for years. Let me start by asking you, how prevalent is what you're talking about in Hollywood today?
I believe there's a lot of darkness in Hollywood right now, and I believe it's been there for quite some time.
I want to stop talking about Idris Elba.
Seriously,
And
leave
as
him
we've
alone.
seen with the Harvey Weinstein scandal, it continues to unfold. New names come forward every day.
His plastic surgery is really bothering me. No, it really is. His face looks like a Stretch Armstrong, and it's really bothering me.
Leave Charlie Sheen face alone.
But it's really bad, right? Like and you could always tell. Mike and I were talking about it off the air with plastic surgery. The neck always gives it away.
Dude, honestly though, be honest. If you faded the name out right now, the people that see this paused, you would swear, you'd be like, if you just saw that and no name, you'd go, wow, HIV is really getting Charlie Sheen.
You're right.
Like, dude, he's not looking good.
Now there's names of misconduct with Kevin Spacey, with this, child actor who came forward today. It's going to continue unraveling. This is just the beginning. It's
And
just
I got to
the tip
get
of the
in now.
iceberg.
I got to get in while the getting's good. Cha-ching! 10 mil. Pew, pew.
We just got an email. I'm sorry, but we have to. I have to, in the middle of the show, to say this. The lady at People Magazine, because you released her name and people have bothered her because we've been trying to get the Dan Schneider story written, has just emailed us. Christina Duggan at People Magazine says, "Hi there, apologies for the late response. I have been traveling the last few days and catching up on email. I appreciate you following up. While I continue to do research on Schneider, I want to be clear that we are not currently writing or running with a story. However, we would like to stay in touch and continue dialogue regarding investigation. I'm going to hold off calling your source for now, but we'll let you know when I need to connect." Hey, People Magazine, again, and by the way, thank you to the person who just donated. We make, let me see here.
Yeah, thank you, Chris Porter.
I want to be correct. I want to be correct.
We're at $60.
Okay, thank you. People Magazine.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
We make
appreciate it.
$60 a month. You are a multinational corporation. You want us to keep investigating it while I am now have a fucking hiatal hernia and heartburn. I'm eating Tums ask Mike, I'm eating Tums like a crazy person because my stress levels are through the roof and losing my mind. We have a caller. Hi, caller. Who's this?
Hey, what's up? It's Martin. How you guys doing?
Doing great, Martin. Hey, where are you from, Martin? You from the UK? You sound British.
I am indeed British.
Okay,
yes.
first question. What do you think about an Idris Elba as Bond?
No, I think it's an attack on white identity.
Okay, so now I know what kind of caller you are. Yes, sir. Go on.
That's great. It's fine. Welcome aboard, sir.
Would you agree with that, or are you?
There are a lot of instances in film and pop culture right now that are, I believe, attacks on white identity. I don't think the Idris Elba thing was one. I think there's been like 11 white Bonds, and it's like one black Bond. If they made Bond like a gay transsexual
or a girl
black chick, I'd be like, all right, come on, knock it off, guys. I just think Idris Elba's, come on.
I just think he's a good
Yeah,
actor.
he blended in on Asgard. He looked good. I don't know. That's just me personally.
If you like Idris Elba, there's a good series that he's in, a BBC series called Luther.
I
I'd
love
highly
Luther.
recommend that.
I love
Check
Luther.
that out.
It's really good. I've seen season 1 and 2, I think.
I thought he was going to try to drop a Wire thing on us. Like, hey, I don't know if you've also ever heard of this show. It's called The Wire. It's really good. It's about Baltimore.
No, Luther's really, really good. I like that. But yeah, so go ahead. You call. What
Yeah,
was
sorry.
Sorry, we
It's
didn't mean to
ADD
derail you
mode today. We're all
being
tired.
super ADD. What's going on, man?
No, just stumbled across you guys. Interesting name. So I was just wondering what your kind of political persuasion is and where you're coming out.
You want to? Okay, Mike describes us what would you call our current political affiliation?
I don't know, moving around all the time.
Yeah,
But we're definitely right. I mean, I'm not. Look, we stopped short of the the fucking Jew baiting fucking ethno state bullshit, but we're pretty hard right. Other than that stuff, we're kind of.
there's areas where we're socially liberal, but I mean, look, here's I'll tell you our background. Mike and I at one point were both described it best as Ron Paul libertarians, right?
Yeah.
That was our like, hey, but as we started realizing that people need fucking rules, I would say we started shifting more towards definitely nationalism.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we're a little more.
But I'm Cuban, so I'm not a fucking Richard Spencer white nationalist. But the Revenge of the Cis name, the reason it came up with is that we were tired of everything being blamed on the white male and the new cisgender
and the straight
word.
male, yeah, and then the whole idea that like it also just came from like I think 3.5 months last year or this year of just gay, trans, gay, and we just wanted to punch back with the title of our show, so we're like, we're gonna do a show where we're gonna kind of fight back, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah, and everybody says that the left owns comedy and doing that, and I think for many years the right made a big mistake by not trying to fight them in the culture war, and I think that that's what we want to be. I like the way that Mike described our show. I guess the antidote for Samantha Bee and John Oliver. Like, we want to be the comedic version of that, but as conservatives.
But I will say we do veer a little bit more. I'd say Royce is a little more mainstream right.
Yes, I'm more mainstream right.
I'm definitely a little more fringe right.
He's more he goes a little 4chan and sometimes down to 8chan.
Yeah, I like to hang around on pole.
Yeah, I'm kind of a pole resident as well.
Yeah. So I'm sure you and Mike have crossed paths.
Do you buy into the that there's a white genocide going on? Do you buy into that narrative?
I'm not. Look, I really abhor identity politics as a whole. I didn't like it when the left did it. I certainly am getting annoyed now that the white people and right are doing it. I'm just not like. There are countries that I feel should probably defend their ethnic heritage. Like, I think England should be English people. I think that, you know what I mean? The Netherlands should be Dutch. There are certain,
Armenia.
What I mean? Yeah, like, I think that there's...
Do you think that white people might be being forced into it as a matter of survival? Because I kind of feel like I'm a reluctant racist rather than a
That's actually a
racist.
very good... That's a very good way of putting
okay.
it. That's a beautiful way of
well,
putting it.
okay. I think that a lot of people conflate the term racial and racist because there's having racial concerns with statistically looking at demographics like Africa, at least in the States here, African Americans kill each other in higher numbers than any other group, and it's like that's not racist to say that, but that is a racial fact backed by statistics.
But they have...
Are you guys bought into the correlation between race and IQ?
Well, okay. I've actually read and listened to two different thoughts of that. There have been things that have been published by legitimate, like Nobel Prize winning, people that now they're trying to bury, that says there is a correlation between certain races and IQ, and he did studies in Africa. But that being said, because he was immediately blackballed, I don't think enough more research has been done to determine that 100%. So I mean, I'm on the I'm like, I don't know.
I'll say this too to answer your question. I'm sorry. What was your name again? Martin.
Martin.
Okay, good. Well, because he said a reluctant racist, and then to your point, I think that the problem is that a lot of people haven't changed. Like, the level of racial tension was never this high when I was growing up. It's gotten worse, and I think that a lot of it is manufactured, and I think that these issues are manufactured in a way where they've sort of expanded the definition of racist now. So for having the same, feelings you had generationally, and I'm not talking about, blacks shouldn't be allowed to, calm down. Like, if you're one of those people that thinks every black teenager gets shot by the cops, had it coming, you're a piece of shit. But at the same time, like, yeah, there's differences, and like that's just the way it goes. And I think that nowadays the thing when you'd go, I'd rather my sister just date a white guy, be a little more peaceful around here. That's like, you're racist, and it's like, well, it's just
so there's a narrative in the alt-right that essentially, like, if you imagine there's 4 football teams and everyone's working against each, they're competing with each other except for one team which is kind of just helping out everyone in terms of the game theory, that team is going to lose. So I kind of see the emergence of white identity politics is just as a mode of whites just advocating for themselves. I don't see it as against other people. So I guess, would you agree with that, or do you just see it as whites should just take the moral high ground and not compete in that way?
I mean, I don't personally believe in the whole identitarian thing. I don't have anything against it. Like, I've got some friends out there that, look, I've got a lot of contacts. I mean, I talked to fucking, Matthew Heimbach and Matt Parrott from the Traditional Workers Party. I've talked to, you know what I mean? I've had talks with, what's his name? Chris or Jason. Who's the guy that did the fucking Unite the Right rally? Whatever. But I've had
Jason
Kessler. There you go. I've had some back and forth with these guys. I don't always agree with their viewpoints, but I certainly don't think that they need to be, united against by everybody else in the country and stomped out. I mean, if they were running around burning shit and looting, yeah, I'd be like, look, knock these guys off, but they're not doing anything. So I don't agree with it, but I agree with its right to exist and allow them to do their things. And we've gone to some of these rallies and they've been very polite to us.
Yeah,
so,
Mike and I, what you call a free speech absolutist, where everyone should be able to do whatever they want. We went to the Richard Spencer rally, and honestly, we were way more disgusted by Antifa and what they were fucking saying than anything that any white supremacist was saying there.
Yeah, if you're trying to go all Timothy McVeigh and blow up a building, kill people, do shit like that, yeah, you should go down. You should be a terrorist organization. But when a bunch of guys get together and throw on fucking polo shirts and do some chants, it's like, again, I'm not... I have my criticisms of every group of people on this planet. I could list details of things I don't like about their culture, and I do it equally. I don't have any bias really against anything. I have no problem with the white identity movement. I'm just not a part of it. You know what I mean? Like, right. I've spoken with these dudes, and I'll have.
Do you think that you'll be able to stay, in the center right forever, or do you think things will get polarized to the point where you'll have to choose a side?
I hope not. I genuinely hope not.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, so you know something about me. I'm Cuban. My first language was Spanish, right? Like, so I'm not.
Castizo or mestizo?
I'm sorry.
Are you descended from the Spanish or descended from the native Cubans?
Well, okay. This is great. Half of my family is from Spanish, and the other half is native. So, but I mean, if you look at me, I pull off white guy pretty well. But that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Not in the summer, but
not in the summer. But in the winter, I pull off white guy pretty well. Yeah. But my point is that I'm Cuban. My grandparents fled here after the whole fucking Che and Castro movement. They came. That's my grandparents on my dad's side, and my mom came here when she was 6 years old. And actually, she's considered here since she came here before 1969 an anti-revolutionist. And even now, when people are welcome back to Cuba, she's not without like express written permission. So, I think I've been a conservative, and that's something else like I always bring up is Cubans usually tend to be conservative because they come from a country that they've seen what happens with socialism and Marxism when it's left to run amok, So that's why I always say good luck selling socialism to a Cuban, Bernie Sanders. It's never going to work. But that's why I move to that side. But like Mike says, I hope that's not what we get pushed to, because I'm not a white dude. I mean, let's face it, they wouldn't like me at a fucking Richard Spencer rally either.
And to be fair,
I don't think they'd mind. Honestly, I don't think they'd mind. I don't think they're as bad as you're making them out to be.
No. We're not making. We literally just said Antifa was worse.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Yep.
I'm just.
I'm saying that they're not real. I mean, they set the goal of the ethno state is one thing, but I think the reality is they just settle for white survival essentially.
And that's fine. And that's why, look, we've said on this show in the past that I don't feel that all of my beliefs are in line with those of some of the Nat Sox and some of these other guys and the trad worker guys. But I still view them essentially as allies in a sense that, they're still right. Like, to me, it's right versus left, and I know that that's to some more sophisticated political people, that's not enough. But to me, the right and the left are still a balance that we have in this country, and we need to maintain that balance. And we need to keep our side going. So I view them in essence as allies, as long as they're nonviolent and they're not doing anything dumb.
And Mike, something that we've both talked about, I think something that's great about the right, and we bring it up, is that the right does really well if you look at the right, they wave anywhere from fucking Ron Paul libertarians to all the way to the alt-right, Richard Spencer. But the right does a really good job coexisting with each other. Yeah. Like it's not like the left. That's why I don't think we're ever going to be pushed to that far extreme, because even to this day, like like Mike says, I have friends, they fucking vary through the political spectrum. Ones that people will call fucking neo-Nazis, and even ones that you would think are fucking crazy Che socialists, and everywhere in between. And I think the right, because we're free speech absolutists and because words don't hurt our feelings for the most part, it doesn't matter. And the left can't manipulate us to turn us on. That's what they're trying to do. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, the left is trying to turn everybody into Nazis. They throw that word around so liberally now, And
everybody's talking about civil war coming. Dude, as long as they're still fucking slinging out Big Macs and iPhones, nobody's going to fucking go crazy in this country. We're pieces of shit.
You don't think that there'll be a collapse at some point?
Oh, at some point. And I mean, like you just got to, do some push-ups and some sit-ups every day and try to hydrate and try to have some knowledge of firearms and just not be an idiot.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all you could do. I'm not gonna stop going to fucking Beef O'Brady's for a beer and some chicken wings once in a while and go get my dick sucked.
Martin, I know you're from the UK, but over here, I think that's what's keeping the Civil War at bay, and that's why the right fights so hard for the Second Amendment. I really believe that. And people you want gun nuts. No, the reason why because right now, if you look at it, there is one side that disproportionately has more well-trained people with legal firearms. So if there is one, it would be it's not going to be the Civil War of old. It would be a one-day thing and it's over. So at the end of the day,
this is why the left wants to disarm the right so much.
Exactly. And I agree with you. And I think they've been trying to do it for a very, very long time. And I think that's why you have to fight. And that's why when the NRA, people go, oh, why does the NRA fight for little things? It's because with the left, if you give them one thing, they will take the entire, you give them an inch and they don't take a mile, they'll take 500 miles. And that's the problem.
Have you guys been exposed to Dr. Kevin McDonald's work on culture of critique in the Jewish question?
Yeah, let's see. Look, I have criticisms of it.
I realize you don't want to get banned off.
No, and it's not even a getting banned thing. It's an overall. It's my honest opinion. Look, I criticize every group of people and every culture. Everybody, obviously, could be doing better in certain areas. I agree that Jewish people are very much overrepresented in the 1% in banks and media and stuff. But when people start getting into the whole insidious reptilian Jewish plan, and it's like, all right, dude,
hang on. I get. I mean, essentially, the hypothesis is that the Jewish people they worry about a homogenous white society because then they stick out and they can't manipulate people and essentially do well business wise through trickery and usury and such. So what they do is that they purposely try to disrupt society through immigration and spreading degeneracy in order to I don't. That's the hypothesis. So would you agree with that hypothesis, or
no,
you think there's any validity to it?
It's like any other major theory like that, where it's just like you want every bad thing to just go, all right, cool, it's the Jews. And it's like, yeah, like every other group, are the Jews responsible for some of the mess this world's in? Absolutely. But I can't subscribe to any theory where one guy's the bad guy. All right, you got to wrap us up.
Yeah, it's okay. Hey, Mark,
we got to go to break.
Mark, we got to go to break.
We're not
trying to cut you off, but thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, call in again.
Call in whenever you want. All right, man.
We're totally open for this.
Yeah,
today.
take it easy.
We're top of the hour, and I need a ciggy.
Yeah. We have Bunty King coming up.
Yeah, we have Bunty King. Yeah, man, we're going to talk about Red Pill Black and some other stuff on
All right, Revenge of the Sis. We'll be right back.
Orlando, Florida, a city known for its theme parks and resorts. But peace is threatened as a wave of crime has turned this once beautiful vacation destination into a haven for gangs, thugs, and terrorists.
I need backup! Home nightclub! Shots fired! Shots fired!
When an LGBT hotspot is shot up and dozens are killed, two detectives may be this city's only hope to unravel a conspiracy of corruption that goes all the way to the nation's most powerful elite.
This is Grizzly.
Hey, Lopez. Look, it's called Pulse Nightclub. Hey, I bet
Don't. Seriously, dude, just don't. Not now.
When the city finds itself gripped with fear and under attack, Mersh and Lopez keep a cool head as they attempt to unravel the mystery.
I believe these men were targeted simply because they were homosexual. This is a hate crime.
Gross.
It is gross, partner. Targeting people out of hate like that?
No, I meant the gay stuff. It's pretty gross.
These two no-nonsense cops are about to find themselves dragged into a world of political intrigue and international terrorism, and they may be the only hope to save the world.
I got a morgue full of dead bodies with neon mesh tank tops, a dead suspect, and no motive. The mayor is on my ass.
There's more to this case than we're seeing, LT. I think it's terrorism.
I agree with Lopez, Chief. It's definitely terrorism. We're dealing with a bigger fish here.
As they uncover clues with their incomparable police cop work, Mersh and Lopez get closer to the real masterminds.
Seems like Mateen's phone had some kind of encryption software. It bricked itself.
Damn. So we're screwed, huh?
Well, I managed to get one file off the phone. GPS coordinates that lead to Washington, D.C.
Comet Ping Pong Pizza. Never heard of it.
Feel like grabbing a slice, partner?
Yeah, a slice
of justice, of justice. Yeah, I know. You say it every time.
Yeah, it's kind of my thing.
Yeah, cool. Can leaving now be our thing? Because it's a long drive to D.C.
Coming up next week, Orlando's best detectives are still trying to get to the truth behind the deadliest attack in their city's history. Mersh and Lopez follow a lead that takes them all the way to the nation's capital. But will their case be derailed as they discover a child sex trafficking ring inside of a pizza place? Find out next week on an all-new Revenge of the Sis. Mondays at 4, followed by an all-new Nazi lawyer. Only on USA Network. USA, what are you gonna do? Watch TBS?
Hey guys, it's Mersh and Royce here, and we would like to take a moment to shill like the unprincipled whores that we are. Thank you all for making Revenge of the Sis one of the fastest growing podcasts out there. Having such outspoken, passionate fans spreading the word about our show makes the work that we do that much more rewarding.
You can help us continue growing by doing the following things. Become a direct contributor by going to patreon.com/we're-not-sorry. You can choose a one-time donation or recurring one. Every penny helps. It helps us produce quality programming we bring you every week. Also, please subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, and make sure you leave a review on iTunes. All three of these things are extremely important and help us in the court of public perception. And most importantly, tell a friend about Revenge of the Sis. Sure, you probably can't tell your normie boss or your significant other's blue-pilled mom, but everyone knows a person who would like our show. Tell that person about us and help us make a new fan. Seriously, don't be a dick. Get us some clicks.
And please follow our wonderful friends at Facebook, the Mad American Network, the Unapologetic Canadian, Social Justice Warriors, and you can always find us hanging out in the Space Right group on Facebook. Once again, from the bottom of our cold black hearts, thank you for supporting us and making this such an amazing experience.
In a world where our very way of life seems to be under attack from all sides, and our freedoms are slowly being ripped away, Guns for Tards is fighting the good fight to help protect America from its enemies by advocating Second Amendment rights for our nation's most vulnerable and often overlooked citizens, the mentally challenged. Our founding fathers believed that a well-armed, trained, and educated citizenry was the key to a free and prosperous society. But Meatloaf also said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We believe that Tards are our second-to-last line of defense against ISIS, and we at Guns for Tards aim to provide the means and the programs to give proper training and resources to Tards in your area, helping to make the country a safer place. There are over 40 million mentally challenged Americans living today, and by 2020, we plan to arm at least 10% of them. We want to get as many guns in the hands of as many Tards as we can. But we won't be able to do it without your help. So please, pledge your help today. Arm a Tard. It's not that hard. Go to www.gunsfortards.com for more information, or follow us on Facebook or Twitter by searching for Guns for Tards.
Gunsfortards.com. protect your town. Gunsfortards.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. We can make him better than he was before. Better, stronger, faster. A new night, a new time. The Sully Show returns to More Like Radio, Tuesdays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern before Dutch and Royce. Tuesday nights will never be the same.
Have an opinion you're too afraid to say on Facebook because you might get doxxed? Want CNN to stop knocking at your door asking for your opinion? Call the We're Not Sorry hotline, 407-630-9636. No threats. We will play it on the air. And you know what? Let's keep the racial undertones PG-13. That's 407-630-9636.
And now a woman who knows about shaming firsthand, supermodel Gigi Hadid.
All right, everyone enjoying themselves? How's that filet mignon?
Go ahead.
You know, we're all here for a really important reason. Because everyone
Randy, we've got a problem.
What?
Reality's here. He's trying to crash the party.
Reality?
Who let him in? Shit! Ooh, nice wine, huh? What do you think of that? You know what I think of your pretty flowers? There you go. How do you like that?
All right, buddy, let's go.
I shit on all of you.
Seagal?
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you! Give me that, you stupid bitch. What a lovely charity event. I suppose you're all feeling pretty good about yourselves, hmm? What have you done? You've raised $300 by spending $500,000 on filet mignon and crystal glasses. Look at you, Vin dipshit. You say fat shaming is wrong, so in response you show off your abs. You're the one fat shaming, idiot! What's the matter with you people? You're sad that people are mean? Well, I'm sorry. The world isn't one big liberal arts college campus. We eat too much. We take our spoiled life for granted. Feel a little bad about it sometimes. No. You want to put all your shit up on the internet and have every single person say, hooray for you. Fuck you. You're all pricks.
Second hour. Revenge of the Sis. If you want to call in, guys, the number's 954-573-2780. And if you want to help us out on iTunes, it'd be really, really good if you gave us 5 stars and left us a comment, because it helps us get on the top of their charts and break through all the liberal bullshit, and also Joe Rogan, who are at the top of the algorithm. So
speaking of Rogan, real quick, he had Jamie Kilstein on today. So Kilstein's back on the chessboard, folks. But anyway,
the other thing that happened while we were on break, and someone sent it to me from Deadline.com, the next season of House of Cards will be the last because of the Kevin Spacey allegations. They've already started filming. I think they're almost done filming this next season. So it will be the last season because of the allegation. And that bums me out, man, because I like House of Cards, but what are you gonna do? You have to do it, right?
it's a weird situation. I think honestly, Spacey would have been better off, at least to keep the show if he denied it. But he didn't even deny it, I think, which is why they're like, oh, well, you gotta yank it. But that fucking blows, dude, because that's up there right now as far as active shows go. It's right behind Game of Thrones. That would be like finding out Jon Snow raped a bitch, and now they can't do Game of Thrones anymore. That would be heart-wrenching.
Our buddy Nick sent us some stuff. He says there's been a bunch of personal stuff of people witnessing weird Kevin Spacey behavior. One of the neat things about okay, let me read here. About 15 years ago, I was at the bar at the tobacco company in Richmond, and Spacey was in the booth sitting next to a young guy, and he had his hand down the guy's pants. Today, back in the 90s, during the filming of Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, there was a party with the cast at the house down the street from my house. Several people that attended were disgusted at how Spacey openly hit on the 15-year-old host, the 15-year-old host's nephew. They said he was aggressive, and the boy said that he wasn't gay, and Spacey told them that was how he liked them. I have a family member who lives in NYC, and it's friends with a male masseuse. He told me that Spacey tried to force the masseuse into sex. So yeah, these stories have been going around with him.
It's
for a
been,
while.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure we've made jokes on our old. It's been around for so long. I'm pretty sure you could probably find old Fifth Circle episodes where we made Spacey jokes. But it was just kind of a joke, and it was like nothing ever proven. But yeah, it's starting to not look too good for this guy, and it's I think the dominoes are going to keep tumbling, man. I don't think this is going to end.
Do you think? Okay, couple things. Do you think more things are going to come out about Kevin than just this story? I mean, like not just like these blind items that I just read, but like.
But I mean, not just about Spacey, other people. But yeah, I think more will come out about Spacey now because the wave has started. And, look, we got some information about, and not to jump back and, keep it on this other guy, Mr. Dan Schneider, but there is a person that writes blind items for all kinds of different, Hollywood stuff. And this person has historically had some very good information, and they claim to be an entertainment lawyer, and it's a very shady website, but this blind item website has reported on Harvey Weinstein for years, Kevin Spacey for years, and, well, there's that other guy that they've been reporting on for a long time.
Danny Boy Schneider?
Dan Schneider. And the blind... Now, I can say what the blind item website alleges.
Yes, you can.
The blind item website alleges, and again, this is a website that's been pretty dead balls accurate a couple times, alleges that Dan Schneider... tried to sleep with Victoria Justice, if I recall correctly. She turned him down, and that's why her career hasn't been as... She didn't get any spin-offs or
After
anything.
it, yeah.
But that Jeanette McCurdy, again, allegedly, according to this blind item website, slept with him voluntarily, and that it ended up not really helping her career that much other than the other one spin-off she got. That Ariana Grande willingly slept with him, and that... yeah, this was all from that blind item website. It was all in one story that all happened on the set of certain shows. So I'm just saying, again, that's just from that website. But they were right about Weinstein and Spacey and a couple other things. So, yeah, I'll share that link later on the Revenge of the Cis Twitter account, ROTC Media.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and try to get our guest on now if I can.
Sure, absolutely. We're going to be bringing on right now. We're going to discuss Red Pill Black, who she was a girl who ran Social Autopsy, or is still allegedly currently developing a website called Social Autopsy.
Right.
But she claims to have recently been red pilled, and she's conservative now, and a lot of people think she's full of shit, including a couple of people that we're affiliated with. So we reached out to Leaf, who reached out to a gentleman by the name of Bunty King, who, if you want, check him out, Real Bunty King on Twitter. And he is, he's...
I think we have him. Hey, Bunty King, how you doing?
You got me. Sorry
how you
about
doing?
that. Let me just mute my... Sorry, I do apologize.
No, it's no problem, man. I was just introducing you anyway. So, Bunty King is one of the more amusing and original, I would say, sort of right-leaning personalities on the internet. And he gets bonus...
I don't know if I'm super right-leaning.
But I mean, by today...
I'm right-leaning on some things. More fiscal matters, I'm a little bit more right-leaning. When it comes to, like, immigration, it's a little bit more right-leaning, just in terms of, like, I want, like, people to be, a little bit more...
Well, I'm just saying that by today's standards, anybody left of anybody right of, like, let's say Bernie Sanders is kind of right in this country anyway. Bunty gets bonus cool points because he got into shit with Tariq Nasheed, and everybody hates Tariq Nasheed. So Bunty King is with us now, and as far as I understand, you have a little bit more information perhaps about this Red Pill Black situation.
Only a little. I would say the stuff that has been given to me really has been through my community of friends, right? So people like Shoe on Head, Andy Worski, and all that. And of course, my main criticism of her really has very little to do with the fact that this site existed. I mean, I couldn't really give much of a shit if someone were to acquire my details, And like I would say I'm pretty easy to find in the sense that, like, you could find me if you really wanted to. And I haven't tried to hide myself, haven't tried to hide my first name or anything like that. So for me, a site like this doesn't really affect me. So I can't be, like, personally really pissed about something like this. The thing that really got me, and obviously though, I'm willing to acknowledge the fact that it is I'm going to go ahead and use this word, a bit of a problematic site to have around, considering the stance that people have on doxing. I do think it's bad. So that's a given, right? But the main controversy isn't around the fact that she had the site. It's more the way she reacted to people reacting to the site. Obviously, people were going to react negatively to it, especially people within the skeptic community. And of course, they talked to her about it. I went ahead and I tried to DM her. I mean, I DM'd her before I even said anything about it. I didn't make any videos. I just wanted to kind of get her on my show. I was like, "Do you want to be on the show? Like, just let's talk about whatever this is." No response. And it's like, come on, like for me, it's a little bit, I find that to be a little bit irritating, that she couldn't respond, and then went on to say afterwards, who's the person with the hot mic? Someone's got a hot mic here.
Yeah.
That's
Leaf, can you mute your mic if you don't mind?
Yeah, she's obviously got something going on.
Sorry about that.
But yeah, so anyway, continue.
Yeah, so essentially, the main thing that I had, an issue that I had with her was when she started blocking dissenters. And when she was blocking dissenters, she wasn't blocking like people with like 10 accounts, 10 followers, saying, telling her that she was a bitch or something like that. She was blocking people who were, obviously asking her or critical of her decision to withhold certain bits of information about this site, and not be fully honest with it. And then, of course, we saw the things happen with Dave Rubin. We also saw the things happen with Paul Joseph Watson, where, like he was like really sketchy about when he covered the site. He's like, oh yeah, that was from 4 years ago, and really it was just a year ago that he had written an article about the site. Chris Raygun had mentioned the site, a year ago when this girl was supposedly a liberal. It's just there's just a lot of like dishonesty involved in this whole situation. And that's the thing that I took issue with. Is the fact that she was blocking people, not because they were harassing her, not because she viewed them as maybe a threat to her, to her security, but really just because obviously she viewed them as a threat, all right, but not to the degree like she viewed them as a threat in the wrong way. Like if people who are asking you questions are viewed as a threat, then you're not really an honest person, in my opinion. Well, so then I kind of upgraded it a bit there. I was like, all right, so you know what? I called her out publicly. I said, isn't it kind of I was like, how like this is how you look sketchy, essentially, in 2017 by blocking people who are your dissenters, and that's something that's wrong.
Yeah. Now, I'm just curious. Yeah. Now, because you did mention that, as far as people like you're concerned, people like me and Royce, we've been doing shit like this for years. We're not worried about people finding out who we are. Very easy to locate, as you said. But you gotta admit, as you said, it's a little bit of an issue for, a guy that may not, because the idea now of what is hateful and what is wrong, I mean, it's real easy to get a brigade going on somebody for an out-of-context quote. And I mean, when a guy, is working at a Pep Boys or something and he's not really, like, you could, fuck this guy up when he's living in a trailer park and he works at Checkers and he gets fired from his job because he went to a rally or something and he held a stupid torch.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And I agree. I like, that's where the issue is, right? And that's why obviously the site is bad. And it's just the manner in which she's addressing everything that's really, really shitty. Like, I don't know exactly what she said. I do know that she's tried to make this whole thing seem like something that Richard Spencer has done, which, from a marketing perspective, I can really see that kind of playing well to the side of like normal conservatives that aren't alt-right. And I feel like this is really very much a play or a work of sorts that's going to get regular conservatives closer to the middle, because here's this woman that's very charismatic. She's a black woman. She's pretty. She's saying she's talking all the right talking points. She's anti-political correctness, anti all this crazy SJW stuff. But she's also anti Richard Spencer, and she's being propped up. She's being propped up regularly now through this. So obviously, like her past being being scrutinized is gonna not be a good thing for her. So she blocked a lot of these people. So I can see the marketing element of it, and I can also think that in the long run, someone like Candace Owens is gonna be a good thing for the right, in the sense that it's gonna bring people more towards the middle.
But don't you feel that some people might view her as being a tad bit insincere?
Totally. Oh, 100%. She is insincere. She's 100% sincere.
She's basically black Laura Loomer. She's like a hot black version of Laura Loomer. Like
I would say that I don't like, the thing is, like, I've spoken to Laura Loomer on a personal level, so the questions that I would ask Laura would be really just a kind of about like normal things, like, you know, like what's going on in life, asking her questions, you know, like she'd ask me some questions about what it's like in Montreal and stuff like that, you know, and just talk basic like surface level stuff. But I followed Laura on Twitter. We follow each other, and I've seen the stuff that she posts, and I definitely don't agree with a lot of the stuff that she says. So I can understand the comparison. I do think that that Candace Owens has a little bit more of a she's not as easily disregarded as Laura Loomer. When Laura Loomer posts stuff, a lot of people like jump on her and like talk shit, right? Yeah, but with Candace Owens, she really doesn't, because Candace Owens has this very, you know, like she has less of a, I would say, less of a crazy vibe than Laura Loomer would. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not saying that Laura Loomer is crazy. Like I said, I really don't know Laura Loomer that well, but I don't think that I just think that she has less of a conspiratory vibe. Now she's kind of talking about the conspiracies, which are a little bit strange, but I really feel like it's just damage control for her, the best she can manage.
Yeah.
Isn't Candace calling everyone like CIA plants? That like everyone that disagrees with her.
I really don't know. I really don't know what she's saying because she blocked me.
I'll say Leaf has a little bit of more background and is a bit more passionate about this young lady. What do you what is some of the, because I'll say this. I don't like the insincerity. I don't like the making a video where you're like, yeah, Richard Spencer's going after me, and she kind of makes it almost she kind of
money.
Yeah, but she insinuates like they're physically going after her, and then you find out people are making mean comments on Twitter, and it's not really, you know, going after you.
The thing about Richard Spencer is he didn't even say anything mean. Literally just linked a couple videos of people criticizing her, and she's like, Richard Spencer has launched an attack on me on Twitter, and everybody's like, dude, what? And she's like, donate to my Patreon. I was like, I mean, hey.
No, she's very insincere. Very insincere. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I mean,
so why? So I just feel like that then she wouldn't be an asset on the right, as far as like, yeah, she's.
I'm sorry, this is gonna sound really bad. A lot of people want that token black person, and they want that token black person to be on their side because they want to say, oh, look how progressive we are, guys. We're not racist. We're accepting this black person into our community. She's on our side.
But if she's not in, like, she doesn't buy any of this shit. You know what I mean? Like, then
it's blind faith. They want so badly to believe that she is on their side that they'll look past the sketchy.
I think there's a lot of people. Okay, so there's a lot of people on the right, from what I've seen based on my interaction with the right, who are so tired of being called racist because they're not racist. They're just people who are a little bit more conservative. They don't necessarily want to kill babies, you know, and you know, there's things like that. Like, see, even that for me, like talking that way is like is a right talking point because the left doesn't want to acknowledge the fact that abortion is killing babies, and it's okay. But I'm at the point where I'm like, listen, you want to abort a baby? Go and abort a baby before a certain period. That's my thinking about it. But at least tell yourself or acknowledge the fact that you're killing a fucking baby. You know, like that's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah,
but people don't want to say that, right? So that's the thing, right? So there are these people who exist who have these right-wing ideas but aren't racist, you know, and it's really annoying right now because the right has been labeled as just in one large stroke as a bunch of racists, and of course people like Richard Spencer don't really help that. And of course, when you do have right talking points, obviously you're gonna get conflated with racists because there are racists on the right, but there's also racists on the left, but their racism is masked in a way that's very odd. It's in the sense that, you know, like, oh no, poor black people, poor brown people, poor minorities, we need to pop them up. They're poor, they can't really do anything. That's their talking point. So that's their form of racism, you know. And of course the whole white hatred thing. So they definitely don't like white people. So, but this idea right now that exists that the right are racist, someone like Candace Owens can really help can really alleviate that, you know, because she's very black, you know, she's not like when I say she's very black, I mean that sounds so fucked up.
That's really funny though. That's really trying.
Black.
I mean, she's really black.
I mean,
was that a joke? How black is she?
Yeah, but listen. She's a black, educated woman, all right, who is right leaning.
Who don't need no man.
Who you can probably swear around. Who you can probably talk about uncomfortable shit around, and she won't lose her shit. That's the vibe that she gives, right? Now, how well are you gonna get to know anyone? Like, there's very few people like me that exist online where I'm just like kind of ready to pour out whatever I feel. Like, I'm not. Like you, I feel like most people, if they follow me enough, will really be able to get an idea of what kind of person I am, right? Nobody who follows Candace is ever going to be able to get an idea. So for her, she's going to be a right-leaning figurehead for people to kind of follow. And these people who are just these normies who have right leanings are going to just eat up whatever she says because she caters to them. She panders to them, and that's something that's I think inevitably going to get a lot of these people who are center right to kind of stay in the center right as opposed to go to white nationalism and stuff like that. So I think that she is a good thing, even though she is insincere. But they could also be a bad thing because if more people start to catch on that she's insincere, so she needs to fix her act, because if they can catch on that she's insincere, it could definitely push more people over a little bit further or send them just completely off the right and into the left. You know what I mean? Like, it's like. I just see a bit of a long game happening here, which is why I can see a lot of people like Dave Rubin and, once again, Paul Joseph Watson, Alex Jones, and all these people vouching for her.
Yeah, it's just really sketchy when that site was still active and accepting submissions on the 24th of this month, and she didn't delete the website. It's on Park, meaning she still has access to all that information, and whenever she sees fit, can relaunch the website. And it's I mean, like. It's concerning, and it's not even only adults. She's encouraging children to essentially dox each other. It was if someone at your school says a mean thing to you online, here, just send us their information, what school you go to, where you're from. That's such a bad thing to encourage children to do.
I can't trust anybody who ever in their life had an idea like that. You know what I mean? Like, that to me is a fundamental problem. Even if you renounce it, it's like. To me, that's a weird thing to turn off.
And it's also kind of weird that she, at least, you know, the optics of it to some people is that she used the conservative movement as cover the moment she became victimized for what she was doing, because she even said, I mean, I've heard her interviews, that she started doing this because, you know, she was super progressive, and she always was, and her family was, and all of a sudden when those people started attacking her, she immediately, you know, turned. It's kind of a weird transition. I know everyone has their own moment. At least most people do when they got red pilled, to use the term. But it just seemed like for her it was kind of convenient. You know what I mean?
I mean, when even Zoe Quinn's calling you out on your shit, like.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't trust anything Zoe Quinn has to say ever.
I don't trust Zoe Quinn.
Wait a minute,
she was telling Candace that this isn't a good idea, and Candace was like, "Oh, Zoe Quinn's being mean to me." It's like, if Zoe Quinn's telling you you're doing something bad, you're probably doing something bad. Like,
yeah.
She's not the best judgment of character, and she's not. She's done some questionable things. I'll be nice and use nice words today.
On this show, you choose to fucking use nice words? What's wrong with you?
Listen. There's a tiny child in my house. I have to be careful what I say.
All right, calm down, Dan Schneider. Relax a little bit. Dial it back. You can have your pool party later.
Yeah, no, I would just say that I definitely don't trust her. I mean, that's just a given. I feel like anybody that's even remotely skeptic will not trust them. You know, like, I have stopped trusting people for less. So, I mean, yeah, she's definitely untrustworthy. You know, like recently, I don't know how close you followed this, but the whole Mouthy Buddha thing that happened, that kind of like shook my trust in him based on his associations, you know, like the fact that he's associated with the alt-right, the fact that he has alt-right buddies, even though he's had these friends, you know, since he was 14, before they had formed their political opinions and stuff like that. It just still tripped me the fuck out, you know, to the point where I was like, well, I don't know if I can trust him really well. And then anytime Mouthy Buddha's around anywhere, some guy named Raving Ruin pops in and just starts, you know, going off about his alt-right ideologies. So that happens too. So like, then I'm just, you know, and I don't trust the alt-right at all, at all. at all. They're definitely sneaky. Their
Oh,
tactics
we've
are
had
for
our
sure-
own.
Oh yeah,
we've covered it ourselves. We don't trust Spencer.
We have a suspicion about Spencer. It's really weird how he just became this poster boy and how he's the dude and everything seems kind of.
He's the only one who's kept all his accounts and his blue check marks.
Yeah,
intact,
like
and
there's
it's-
people that do less than him that aren't alt-right that get suspended or
No,
whatever.
there's people that do less than him. They're in fucking jail right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we're being
Yeah.
fair. So
no,
I don't trust him.
what he's definitely like. The thing is, like people like him, people like Tariq Nasheed, they all these people. I'm pretty sure now. I'm at a level where I'm being watched by the government for sure. Like I know for sure. Like if they're not stupid. The government knows exactly what they're doing. They're for sure following me. Like, and I feel like these accounts like Tariq Nasheed and Richard Spencer are definitely honeypots for extremists.
Yep.
Definitely, and as well as these other accounts that kind of like skirt the lines. You know, they're definitely being watched. There's no way they're not being watched. So I think that a lot of these people, like a lot of these problems that we're talking about, only exist online, and they're never. They rarely leave the online realm and then come into reality. I mean, unless you're going to Berkeley at a specific rally or like anything like that, like I don't know, man. I haven't seen any like uptight SJWs walking around my neighborhood. I haven't seen any alt-right dudes walking around. I haven't seen these peoples. I haven't seen these extremes because I don't live. The reality isn't as extreme as is presented online, where people suddenly have this outlet where they can be anonymous and then say whatever crazy shit they want to say, but they know that if they were to say this stuff in real life, they wouldn't be able to say it.
Well,
So
and they also all have like 7 alt accounts, so they pump up their numbers, and it looks like wow, we got all these people behind this movement.
It was weird when we were criticizing Richard Spencer. There was a couple shows.
when
that
your name is-
before our show started, we had like 6 or 12 down like dislikes before the show started. We're like, what the hell's going on?
But yeah, when somebody has like 15 accounts, they all have a picture of Pepe and the name's Keckenstein. You're like, all right, dude. You know what I mean? Don't count those as the fucking. Don't do Hillary Clinton fucking polling and believe all those numbers. Those people don't exist.
yeah, no, totally.
Yeah, and I think
Totally.
I think it's important. Like we were saying right before you're on, that I think the reason conservatives are doing so well now and starting to make a big push in the culture movement is because there's so many different type of conservatives, all the way from Ron Paul libertarian to right-leaning centrist to Richard Spencer's, but everyone kind of coexists really well because I think we do a really good job of policing ourselves. I mean, for the most part, there's big things. We do a big job policing ourselves, and like Hollywood, where 30 years later, Kevin Spacey's trying to sleep with a 14-year-old. We try to nip it in the bud, at least the best that we can. Because I think that's a big part. I think a lot of people are waking up about the hypocrisy.
What, morality?
Well, or morality's a good word too. That's a good one.
rules, facts. Yeah, that's why the right's winning, because people are like, wait a minute, we tried this experiment for 25 years and everything's a goddamn mess now.
Very good point.
So maybe look, I'm not saying become super alt-right, but hey, maybe go to a church on just Christmas and Easter. You know what I mean?
No, you know
like
what?
maybe just fucking
Yeah,
do some basic
yeah.
things once in a while. Do some basic calisthenics. Don't get
I
drunk
agree.
and fuck people randomly all the time at parades.
I know. I agree. And I think that it's kind of it's really kind of tragic, like that we've come to this point where I guess I've always been right leaning in that regard, because for me, like sex is sacred. Like I have slept around, but it's never been like something that it just didn't make me feel right afterwards. I didn't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Like after I've had sex with someone who I love, I gotta skip. I'm ready to go. Like I'm like happy as I'm so happy.
Mm-hmm.
I could do anything. Like for me, that's the level of like that's the level of joy it brings me, right? But like I feel like a lot of people over like the last, like I would say last decade, have kind of lost their hold over morality, over just being a good person, over like realizing that you don't have to have this super ultra hedonistic lifestyle to feel alive. You can be grounded. You can restrict yourselves from certain things while being able to explore yourself or open yourself up to a variety of other things.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, I'm in a different camp. I'm basically somebody who wasted a solid 10, 15 years being a total degenerate and being all into liberal stuff and don't judge anybody and live your life and like, I did drugs, I partied, I fucked a lot of strippers, and like, Now, now it's like in your 30s, I'm turning around and I'm going like, all right, dude, like this is, maybe I had it all wrong. And I'm, it may seem hypocritical now to be like, oh, well, you had your fun. It's like, yeah, but it wasn't that fun. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm paying for it now. And it's, maybe you do fucking, like I said, go to church on Christmas and Easter. I'm not saying go every Sunday, but once in a while, reset your brain, ground yourself a little bit, realize the world's a little bigger than you, and realize that, tradition and honor and things like that aren't the worst thing in the world. It's actually okay to be like a fucking real button-up cornbread Midwestern guy.
Yeah,
it's really not that bad.
It's okay to say good morning, ma'am, and open a door. It's all right,
I agree.
I don't know, man. Apparently, opening doors for women is now considered sexist. They might like fucking flip shit on you for it.
Well,
I've never gone out of my way to open a door for one, but I've always been the type of person to leave the door a little open for someone when they're coming in behind me. So that's just something I do. The only time I'm ever going to open the door for a woman is if they're once again my significant other,
right?
And like I want to put a baby in them. That's the only time. That's the only time like I have like that level of chivalry.
I walk straight in. And
I usually just open the door for anyone I can, even if I have to go out of the way to do it.
Old people.
I don't
old
care.
people.
Old people, of course.
Old people usually, yes. It usually ends up being old people that I do that for.
If I'm walking in a store and I see somebody behind me, I just look straight ahead. I walk in the store and then I lazily kick the door behind me. Back open. Like, there you go. Fucking asshole.
At least it's something.
Fuck this 7-Eleven. I don't care. I barely ever come here.
I find that, like you said, being you end up, as you get older, you begin to realize that life isn't all just fun. It's you have to kind of there's certain rules that you need to adhere to get ahead. And once you start to really picture those rules and see them and like really kind of like abide by them, you end up just being naturally a little bit more conservative with your life's choices.
Yeah, and then everybody, when you get older, you start to understand more your mildly racist, cranky uncle from when you were a kid. When you were young, you were like, what's his problem? And then you get in your 30s and you're like, I wasn't all that bad. I mean, yeah, he was a little fucked up, but, he meant well for us.
Yeah, and I think it's important, for there to still be some sort of standard for society in some way, because what we see is when you let everyone do their own thing, you have guys with dicks and dresses that if you call them the wrong name, you're the asshole, and it's like, I'm sorry, but
yeah, I'm not memorizing 37 different gender pronouns. I'm not doing it. I refuse.
I will be.
I'll let you take my guns first.
I understand there's a way to be a basic good human being without abiding by the litany of new rules that come out every single day. I mean, you can't. Everything's an aggression. Just be a good person, man.
Yeah, just be polite.
Yeah,
that's all. That's what it used to be when I was a kid.
No,
nice.
That's really it. Be polite. Like I think that people forgot that. Why have they forgotten that? That's like the dumbest thing I find. It's just that like.
We've somehow managed to convince ourselves that we're more progressive and enlightened than ever, but we've never been in worse shape in this country as far as people's attitudes.
Sometimes I think it's hard to be polite because when I feel when people are like getting like really fucking hostile towards me, I get heated, man. Like they're making me feel like shit, so I want to like fucking be mean to them.
Well, that's
meaner.
That's the reaction. Like, here's a good example. We live in Orlando, pretty big city. It's Florida. Everyone's kind of rude when you walk down the street. They're doing their own thing. Like, and I went to Minnesota recently, right? And it's weird. It's weird because there's this encapsulated part there where it's like everyone's you're walking down the street and I'm not used to it, and people are like, "Good morning." I'm like, "Hey, what do you want? What do you?" Because,
love it.
No, I love it too. But it takes some readjusting where you're like, "Wow, these people are like." We were walking someplace and this lady walked up and just for no reason other than being nice started talking to me and my wife like, "Isn't it beautiful here?" And I'm like, wow, there's still people out there that are human.
And this is outside of big cities, right? You'll always see this outside of big cities, and that's what I really love about this whole small town mentality. A lot of people say, small towns, they're really racist. You're going to meet a lot of racists there. I don't think that you will, because once again, these small towns also have this one rule that they adhere to, which is just be a nice person. They don't want to fuck with anyone. Mm-hmm. They just don't want anyone fucking with them. I mean, sure, you're gonna go to these places that probably have like racists and stuff like that, but it's not the same thing. It really isn't. It's not. They're so far and few between. You really are.
And that's why the left's argument's falling apart, because they spent years making fun of flyover states and these goofy fucking cornbread Christian weird, homophobic people. And then you
Who
go
exist.
and then you drive through. Yeah, they exist in small numbers, but then you drive through the country and you just see a nice family after church, a Chick-fil-A eating, nobody's fucking their kids, and you're like, wait a minute, these guys are the fuck are you screaming and reading
That's
at them for?
really, really
You
good
know,
point.
like leave these people alone.
I have a cousin from New York who came here before, and he was very sketched out. He's like, people here are suspiciously friendly. Like he was so not used to it, of how nice everybody was to him. He was expecting people to, like, I don't know, start fights with him and everything.
Go ahead.
Go on. Go on.
I get like there's something about like I'm big city phobic. Like I live near Orlando, but I try to live outside it because I like visiting New York. I have a lot of friends there in LA and shit like that. But whenever I'm in there, there's this weird tension always. Like I don't like something's about to always go off. Like I don't feel calm. I feel like, if you're not walking fast enough, people are screaming at you, and I'm like, that weird hostility is I think what needs to be quelled. People need to calm down. Don't look at your phone all the time. Look at people. Talk to people. Hey, if you don't want to rush to work, leave 10 minutes early. That way you don't have to be an asshole and run someone over in the subway.
I agree.
Well, anyway, we're getting close to shilling time. So do we do you guys have any? I mean, we got Unapologetic Canadian Leaf, of course, and then Bunty King. It's Real Bunty King on Twitter.
Yeah, Real Bunty King on Twitter. You can just type in Bunty King on YouTube. I'm actually going to be doing a live show at around 7 p.m.
Oh, awesome.
You guys
Nice.
want to come by and check that out.
We subscribed to you earlier today, so we're going to check.
Whenever you pop on, we will see you. We hit the bell too, as we've learned. Hit the bell.
I appreciate that. That.
But man, thanks for being on. Anything else you want to plug?
No, man, no, just no, I'm not at all. No, thank you so much for having me. Are we done?
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna probably just probably roll out. We're gonna do a little bit of shilling and stuff, and then. But I just want to say, dude, Bunty, I'm actually starting to. I really dig his stuff, man.
Yeah,
He's,
it's great. And by the way,
you're a hilarious dude, man. You are a
Appreciate
really snarky fuck. And by the way, also, I'm jealous of your hairline, and I hate your hair.
A lot of people in
really
the
want
chat
it.
and me they're jealous of your beard and your hairline. I do a good beard, but I go with bald on top.
You are what I would call
enraging,
annoyingly attractive.
Enraging.
Thank
really
you. No, I haven't been doing as many videos recently on Twitter because I find that I'm doing more content on YouTube.
Right.
And plus, I just feel like there's nothing really kind of going on. I mean, there's stuff that has been going on. Like I did the whole, red pill black thing and stuff like that. Anytime anything pops up, I'll do a video, But yeah, no. I find one thing that really gets people annoyed is the fact that I do Twitter video. The fact that I can reply to someone with a video so easily, so comfortably, it trips them out. Because a lot of these people need setup or stuff like that. They need to they don't really like showing the face because they don't feel confident. So it really bothers them, especially when they hear my laugh. They're like, "Oh, he's got to be fake. There's no way that laugh's real." No, it's very real.
It's
really real.
Ever. If you've never heard it before, you need to find one of his videos where he laughs.
Absolutely. I'm going to go down the YouTube hole. I really, really, really like what you're doing, and I appreciate anything that's funny because you could sit there and listen to these people talking about the country's falling apart and the sky is falling, but you still got to laugh. You still got to have fun. And like I said, it's important to have people out there that are fighting the other side of the culture war, where it's not just
with humor and snarkiness.
With humor and snarkiness, which is fun. It's okay. It's all right. And
it's to me, it's what's going to win the culture war.
Yeah,
dude, Jon Stewart changed the goddamn game a few years ago with that stuff. Like he changed the game by making it cool and funny and fuck those Midwestern hicks. Yeah, and it worked for him. But now they're just serious and angry, and they're all just parrots on comedy.
Fucking Keith Olbermann.
It's true, man. Keith, that guy's out of his fucking.
You know what? Hold on. We're not going to let you go yet. We're not letting you go yet. I wanted to talk about Keith Olbermann. All right,
but we don't want to get too into it because tomorrow we're going with Pat
but
Dixon
a little bit. This asshole starts fucking yelling at Lauren Southern for her flag costume.
Tommy
Lauren. Sorry.
I know,
all the right-wing blondes, forgive me, kind of mixed together. And
I like Lauren.
I know. But anyway, I'm kidding. But anyway, she had this flag costume, and he started quoting a flag quote about how it's against the rules. And then the cover of his book is him wrapped in a fucking American flag.
Yeah.
I know.
A real American flag. Domi Lawrence wasn't even a real flag. The flag code only applies to an actual fucking flag, which a lot of these people seem to be missing for some reason. I'm Canadian and I know this. Like, why?
When I saw Tommy Loren's fucking costume, I swear I came red, white, and blue. But also, to be fair, I also have a prostate problem, so I should probably get that looked at.
Yeah, I like Tommy Loren. I do. I also think that Keith Olbermann is way too serious. I think that it calls the show The Resistance or something like that. It's really sad. It's really, really sad. Plus, I don't like the way he uses Twitter. He reposts his videos multiple times and to hit multiple like time zones, I guess. And it's just so annoying and obnoxious. It's like, dude, like you're not using the platform effectively. Doesn't really talk to anyone. Doesn't really talk to his followers.
Sometimes he'll spurg out on Trump randomly, and then go back into his
No, it's just for me. Like I don't really like the. Yeah, he's fake.
I love that he looks like he's crying with the flag wrapped around. It's hilarious. He looks he looks like just that standard soy boy. What kind of fucking coffee or tea do they give out at MSNBC? Like, what is it in their water? It's pure estrogen.
Sorry, but this reminded me.
Chris Hayes is another one. He's a woman.
Did you see the BuzzFeed guys, the Try guys went to go have their testosterone checked out?
Yeah,
and all of them,
but it got me scared. I'm wondering if my testosterone's been lowered.
Dude, like, not with that beard. Not with that goddamn beard.
Much, and I really should work out more. I'm like, okay, maybe I should work out. Maybe I'll fix it a little bit. It'll fix my testosterone a little bit. I don't know. I got to do something, but it scared the shit out of me. But they have testosterone pills.
Yeah.
I'm like scared. Scared. I'm like, I don't want my testosterone to drop to the point where I'm these guys. Yeah. I want this. I'm definitely not those guys.
Dude, don't worry. You're not those guys. Not with that manly ass beard. If I saw you with that beard on an airplane, I would ask you to be removed.
It's very funny. Hey, thank you, Bunty King. Leaf, anything you want to plug? Anything you want to plug, Leaf?
No, I'm good, guys.
All right. Hey, thank you, guys. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Thanks for setting us up, Leaf.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye, dude.
Bye-bye.
We got getting guests, huh? Moving up in the worlds. Revenge of the Sis, folks.
You don't have to fucking... Okay.
No, we're doing it. Pew, pew.
I just really wanted like them.
No, I know. I knew it was going to be good. That's why I've been trying to get... Dude, I've been trying to get Bunty on.
Yeah.
And I reached out to him like, a month ago, and I can't figure out that Discord shit. I was like, Leaf, you fucking do it.
Mersh and I are turning into old men. You please understand. We're 30... I'm 35. How old are you? 33, Mike?
34.
30. Sorry. Jesus Christ, that's right. Oh, my God. I'm 35. Mersh 34. So, we're up there. We're getting up there in age.
Yeah, without Blackburn, we'd be screwed. That guy's always out there doing
Thank
shady
you,
internet stuff.
By the way,
you're the man.
We do appreciate that.
You are the man.
And
by
the way,
Crips in the house.
I want to also thank all our Patreon subscribers. Patreon.com/we're-not-sorry. Thank you for the people that gave today. And
you're awesome.
Everything you give, 100% of it goes into the show. Everything. Like, not a penny goes to anything but the show.
In fact, we haven't even touched any of it yet.
No,
it's been up for months. There. It's just sitting. We haven't even filled out the information yet to pull money out because we have nothing to, pump it into the show for. But we're building it up, and then when something happens, we're gonna do this thing.
Tomorrow is also the official launch for our Roku channel.
So, yes, it's given, no bugs or anything, but they're saying yes.
We're looking at tomorrow.
The app, which is the channel and the app.
The channel and the app, both. If you have a Roku or you have the Roku app, all you have to do is starting Wednesday, search for Revenge of the Sis. We're going to be under the comedy tab. You'll see us logo there. That's a great way to watch us sitting at home. And those ads, they do not demonetize us the way YouTube does.
Yeah, and they actually pay more than YouTube, so it's pretty cool. So Roku coming up. Tomorrow, we're going to have Pat Dixon on the show.
Oh, super excited for that.
Yeah, no, I love Pat Dixon. He's one of my favorite guys, New York City comic. He's host
very
of
funny.
The New York City Crime Report on Compound Media, and he's also doing a Trump-era podcast right now where they cover Trumponomics and all that with Kevin Downey Jr. It's all on Compound Media. Coming up tomorrow. Yeah, baby. Subscribe right now. Do it. Rate us on iTunes.
Hit the bell.
Bing.
Hit the bell. All right, guys, we will see ya mañana.